This Choircast podcast is brought to you by Heretic Happy Hour, whose tagline is burning questions, not people. You know, we've been around for a long time now, and we've had many different lineups, and Heretic Happy Hour is only getting bigger and better, with guest hosts like Rainn Wilson, David Bentley Hart, John Fugelsang, Candida Moss, Elaine Pagels, and of course, December Rose. 2024 and 2025 are turning out to be our best years yet. So check us out on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. It's Heretic Happy Hour. We hope to see you soon.
Western Christianity has spent the last 2,000 years telling everyone they're separated from God.
This is Not Church with John and Nat Turney and Bethany Shea.
I just realized I don't have a theme song for Matt. Hanging out with Matt Distefano.
It's like a 90s sitcom. Is that the vibe? The vibe I have?
That is the vibe. Hanging out with Matt Distefano. Hey, everybody, this is the podcast, by the way. My name is Nat, and I'm with my brother John. Say hi, John.
Hi, John.
He's over there hanging out, drinking what I presume is a non-alcoholic IPA.
It is an NA. Yes, you are correct.
Is it also an IPA?
It's an IPA.
My daughter was in the store last week, and she saw somebody was making these like little beverages for dogs. They were dog beers. And
beers.
Yeah, they were in little cans, and one was named IP a lot in the house. It was like it was just dumb, stupid. Anyway, I'm here having a Dr. Pepper because that's what we do when it's 110 degrees outside and we're in Texas. But we are happy as always to have you join the podcast that we call This Is Not Church, because if it was church, you would get the hell up out of here, and you would be right to do so. But we have a guest, and we've had him with us a handful of times before because, quite frankly, we like him, and he's a prolific. I think we could say prolific at this point.
I think so, yeah.
Author of many books, co-owner of Choir Publishing. So it's nice to have that in, and the author of his two. He's trying to keep up with Keith Childs. He's got two books out now. One is called Saints, Sinners, and Clickers, and the other is MAGA versus the Bible, The Unbelievable Contradictions. Welcome to the podcast, Matt Distefano. How are you, sir?
Good. I can never keep up with Keith Childs, nor would I want to.
Nobody could. No.
I have other shit to do, man.
Well, when you get to be a man of a certain age.
A man of a certain age.
Yeah, a man of a certain age. He's got a touch of gray in his beard, and he's enjoying the latter part. John, I was not talking about you, but you resemble that remark.
Yeah.
When you have mastered the different AI platforms, and you can just churn books out, man.
Wow.
It's I kid, Keith. If you're listening, I was just kidding, man. I'm just jealous. I'm speaking out of jealousy. But hey, welcome back, man. How's everything going in your world out there in the heartland of California?
It's fine, right? The rest of the world is burning down, and we got ours in 2018, so it's weird to watch the world burn while we're like, oh, everything's been okay here this year.
Yeah.
It is 105, and we are entering fire season, so you never know. But
fingers crossed.
It's fucking it's wild out there.
Europe's on fire, for fuck's sake.
I know, right?
France and Spain
Wales, even as north as Wales and Scotland, I think, right?
Nuts. I mean, I know we joke about, I was in Europe once or twice, and in Spain in the summertime, it got in the 90s. And that's hella hot when you're I was on the coast, so it's humid as hell. Nobody has AC because no one can afford it.
Right.
And, but, England, France, all those places, but I was just at my mom and dad's house in Northern California, and it doesn't get above hardly 60 in the summer, but it's so humid, it's still warm. So, yeah, it is a weird thing to see. It's almost as if climate change is real.
Well, I wish scientists would have said something. To be blindsided like this without any sort of warning is just unreal to me.
It is so irresponsible that they didn't say something. Very irresponsible
that the scientific community remained silent for all these years.
Right. While we just churned out pollutants and cranked up the greenhouse gases, they were all like, no, it's fine, everyone, go ahead. No.
We would have listened and done something about it had we known.
Certainly, certainly. But we, once again, innocent in all of this, caught with our hands down, or our pants down, or our hands down our pants. Wait a minute.
Either one. I think it's pants down, but
mixed metaphors work as well. But if only they had spoken up and said something. But anyway, It is a weird, strange time of life that we're living in. We have lots to talk about, not just your books, but all kinds of other stuff that you've been doing. But let's talk about Saints, Sinners, and Clickers, if you don't mind. And let's do some publicity for that awesome book.
Well, it's the only reason I'm here, so thank you for... I mean, if we're going to live in an apocalyptic world and we're going to play apocalyptic video games, someone's got to write a book about the apocalyptic video game and what apocalypses are and what kind of humans we are in the midst of them, right? Like, when I obviously did not write the book for like a very wide audience. I mean, it's like, I don't know how many of my readers play video games, let alone video games about zombies, quote unquote. So I kind of wrote it because I wanted to, but then it's like, it is surreal when you're like, damn, we're really trying to get to that place where our civilizations collapse under the weight of our own hypocrisy. So it's like the video game is about, people getting infected by this fungi. And it's like, I mean, what a perfect analogy, I guess. And like, we think it's a game about zombies, but it's really a game about us. And it's playing out in real time, which is really odd. It's just really odd, Yeah,
it's very strange. It's so this is based around the video game series The Last of Us, which I don't think we mentioned yet. So if you're confused, that's why. So, and also I'm guessing the TV show as well, the series.
Loosely, I kind of treat it the way I treat Tolkien when I'm referring, when I'm writing a book about Tolkien or Hobbits or whatever, I'm referencing the books primarily, although Peter Jackson's films, I think, do a better job than the HBO series did with The Last of Us material. But yeah, I mean, you could be a fan of The Last of Us show and not play video games and still get something from the book for sure. But I just think the video games are just they're just such top notch. Like, I don't think I've ever played a better game series than The Last of Us. Maybe Red Dead Redemption 2 I'd put up there in the upper echelon of games, but just something about the story of The Last of Us. Maybe it's the protagonist is a grizzled father and he has this surrogate daughter type. And so, I have a daughter. I'm not quite as grizzled. But that connection just tugged at my heartstrings. And like the minute, I'm not a horror fan necessarily, but the minute I started playing it, I was just like, oh my God, this story is like fucking perfect. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah. I did watch the first season. I don't game. So
yeah.
The last time I took video games seriously, I had an Atari console. So if that says anything. I think the last PlayStation console I owned was a PS3 and we have stopped since then. I did watch the first season of it and I really liked it. And then was warned that it got worse. So I just, it never really grabbed me totally, but I've heard a lot about the game series. And obviously you get a lot of opinion from people who played the game and watched the show and been like, so of course you hear the grumblings about how they deviated from the script or the storyline or whatever. But for your purposes, you're focused in on the game and the storyline there. What kinds of parallels are you drawing from? I mean, obviously, besides the obvious. I mean, the world's going to shit.
The world. Well, in the midst of like, take away like the apocalypse and take away all that, and it's just a human story. It's like, it's very mimetic. It's very tribal. I think we see just how tribalistic we become, and it really challenged me to step outside of even like my own philosophy that I currently have in my theologies, and like even labeling, love and talking about goodness and things like that. I think it really forced me to realize like so much of our convictions, so much of our ethics are a matter of context.
Yeah.
Like how convicted are we really when fucking shit hits the fan? Like I've had to have the realization that I'd mortgaged the future of all of humanity to save my daughter. So is that an ethical choice? Like if it was the trolley problem for me, it's like I would run over all of humanity. No offense, guys, but to save my daughter. But I mean, you know what I mean? Like, so is that an ethical good? I can't say it is. I don't know. I don't know if there's an answer. Like, I don't think there is an answer to the trolley problem, or all answers are valid, I guess, right? Like I have no fucking clue, right?
I don't either.
Right.
I think that's the point of the trolley problem, to be honest with you, is to make you battle with those internal mechanisms and say, okay, what because I'm a nonviolent guy. I really fully endorse nonviolence. But I still reckon with the fact that I would murder somebody if they came between me and my kid or my grandkid.
I mean, yeah.
I would apologize and feel bad, maybe. I get in these places where I'm like, I would like to see pedophiles flung off of cliffs. Anybody who hurts children should suffer, So there's still that piece of me that still says, okay, but there are lines that should not be crossed. And I think that's evolutionary as much as anything else. I think that's something we came to naturally to protect our tribe, to protect our families. And I think it's fine. But as an ethical question, I don't know. I mean, if you put me at the train switch and make me choose between my grandson and a bunch of people I don't know, it's a better than even chance. It's probably going to go one way, and then I'll be the villain of the story.
Yeah, I think I've realized, I think I've changed my language a little bit to be like, I don't know if I'm entirely nonviolent. Like I am on a daily basis for sure. But I think I'm more, if we talk about God, if we talk about theology and where we get our ethics from and all that, like, I think God is a non-retributivist. And I think nonviolent is nonviolent, I would say. But yeah, I don't know how much I follow that in like the scenarios you're, talking about. And I don't know if it can be any other way. I think I would do what is ethically wrong in the moment. Maybe I don't know, right? Like, and I think this game really, it's not like an open world game. It's very linear, and so you're just complicit in this. Like you're like playing along this character. You don't get to do like a moral meter, be like choose A for this and choose B for that. You're just complicit in the story. You have to do these things, and I think when you pause and you're like, man, would I really do that in real life? It's like, yeah, I would do that 100 times out of 100, even though I think it's wrong. But so do I even have a choice in the matter? Like, would I slaughter a hospital full of people, in one of the scenes to save, your daughter? It's like, yeah, I'd play that. I play that scene happily.
I would gleefully kill all of the Jedi children. All of
yes,
all
Master
of the Padawan will die. For the woman that I love, absolutely, and I would stomp on their graves. But but it's such a very deep question, and this is a sort of a train of thought that I've been hearing people discuss a lot lately. And it came up in the election. There were these. This is a slight derailing, but I think it's adjacent anyway. So I draw a parallel between those kinds of dilemmas and the people that didn't vote in this last election. Leftists and liberals in particular, who because of what was happening in Gaza opted out of the whole fucking scene and gifted us another term of the orange monster. I understand I think I understand the throwing up of the hands and saying we were given shitty choices and we choose not to play this game. But ethically, man, I wish they could have just held their nose and voted the other way once,
Yeah, I wouldn't say they made a right or wrong decision, but it's like, this is the decision you helped create, so I hope you're fucking happy. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
these are the consequences.
These are the consequences, whether they're right or wrong. This is where the fuck we are.
Can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, as my mama would like to remind me all the time. But do I blame them? Yes. Yeah, I do.
Sure, I do too. But
were they wrong?
Right.
I don't know.
So we can have these two things true at the same time. Like fuck you if you did that, but also were you wrong for doing it? Don't know, but fuck you anyway because
Yeah,
I mean
exactly.
It's like because look at what we've fucking got now. This is like insanity. We're living in fucking insanity.
If you're gay or trans in this current whatever you want to call it. I don't like the word administration. They don't administer shit. They inflict.
No, I'd say it's like a regime brought to you by Brondo, or is it Brano?
Yeah, I'll call it an affliction. So, but if you were in one of those marginalized groups that were already marginalized, and you find yourself complicit in this, gosh, I hope you remember the lesson. I guess is what I'm hoping, because I'm not sure that we'll be able to roll back the clock on a lot of this stuff that's happening. But as I don't know, it's as much descriptive of, it's as much a symptom as anything else. I think it does expose to us who we are a lot of us at our core. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it is time for an apocalypse. Maybe it's time to wipe the slate clean. What do we have to do to get God to throw us another fucking cataclysmic flood and just start the whole fucking experiment over again?
Well, I guess, didn't he say he's not going to do it again? Or next time it'll be fire?
He didn't say. Yeah, he said it wouldn't flood the world again. He left himself a couple of outs. I think there's
he's letting us light it on fire, I guess.
There we go. John, you were about to say something, man. I cut you off.
I was just kind of going back to what you were talking about, and something else that you like to write about a little bit is the hero's journey. And I feel like within this book, there's kind of a change in the thought process on heroism and what is a hero in itself, the hero's journey, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think this series and other series for sure, but like really redefines how we think of our heroes and our villains, especially part 2. I don't want to give away too many spoilers for those who haven't played the games, but like part 2 really forces you to hate a certain character, and then you play as them.
Oh, wow.
And it's hard not to just like run off a cliff 100 times in a row because you hate them so much, but like you eventually have to play the game. But by the end of it, you realize like these labels we put on people, heroes, villains, anti-hero, whatever, they are kind of arbitrary and based on a very narrow view of maybe someone's life, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think the hero's journey can be helpful. I think it's a great observation. But like, if we get too stuck on like who our heroes are, and we get like too much idolatry going on there, create idols out of them, like we're really just taking a very narrow view of things, because our heroes are generally very compromised, and our villains are often misunderstood. So when you play as Abby, and then you get the full story, you're like, oh, I get it now, and now I empathize with her, rather than just wanting to fucking kill her, And you realize your heroes, like the character I love the most, Ellie, which actually, to finish off my sleeve, I'll be getting the tattoo that she got.
Oh, okay.
Is one of the most horrific people in part 2. Not horrific people, but like does some of the most horrific shit.
Yeah.
In the name of vengeance and retribution, and I guess justice in her mind.
Right.
Which is, is she the villain? Well, if you just take that snapshot, but I can't see her as the villain, because in part 1, you walk her across the United States to save her, right? Like, or, and you care about this character, and then you see what happens to her and what trauma does to her. And if you just take that snapshot, you'd be like, oh, she's the villain. It's like, no, I mean, these categories don't work. They work maybe pedagogically for teaching purposes, but they don't work as like ultimate categories here.
No. Well, they always tend to bleed into one another. And like you mentioned, as soon as you change your perspective a bit, you have to, if you're honest, you have to say, okay, I hadn't seen that from that point of view. It's one thing I really liked about, the Broadway show and the movie Wicked, at least the first part. The second part, but the first part of that is getting that story, that backstory of the Wicked Witch of the West, and who is she, and how did she become wicked, and that, what happened, what trauma is she responding to? And there's something about those categories, like you said, we like them. I mean, we really do like to put these boxes around people.
Yeah, that's kind of our default mode. I mean, just think about like Judas, right? He was like the ultimate, is Judas going to, even if you're a universalist, Judas has to go to hell or whatever. Like, he's like the ultimate betrayer. And it's like, what if Judas was just trying to get the revolution started? And he didn't what if he didn't actually think Jesus was going to die, because he actually thought he was the Messiah? And it's like, obviously the Messiah is not going to die.
Yeah.
Right? So let's kick this shit off and get shit popping, because he had this, I think maybe he had the same goal as Jesus. Not being occupied by Rome, right? Like I'm sure every Jew had that, but we paint him as the bad guy because, it's just a betrayal for $30 or 30 denarii or whatever it was. What if he was just trying to get the revolution started? How many of us would have done that?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was a question I had. That was one of the questions I had as I was deconstructing was, well, what if Judas just did what he was supposed to do for the whole broader picture? What if that's what he was there for?
Well, and in most mainstream Christian theology, that's exactly what they say. You speak out of sort of both sides of your mouth when you talk about Judas, because he was he was supposed to do what he did, according to the interpretations of some scriptures and prophecy, which I don't think is necessarily true. But I remember you two wrote a song, and it's pretty much about Judas, and I think it's called "Until the End of the World." But there's this whole line at the end about how he betrayed Jesus. Anyway, just how Jesus forgives him, and Jesus, pulls him back into the circle. And I'm like, okay, that's sort of the ultimate hope of universalism or universal reconciliation, is that regardless of how we've fallen short, there's still that inexorable pull towards the center, which makes everyone redeemable, right? I mean,
as long as you go to hell first. I mean, honestly, some of these motherfuckers got to go to hell.
I think the Catholics have it right. I'm not a religious person anymore. If I was ever going to go back, it would be some sort of pseudo Catholicism. I mean, outside of the Roman.
You can go like the Franciscans or the Trappists or something.
Yeah, I go join Richard Rohr with his folks. But I think the idea of purgatory makes a hell of a lot of sense. Like, you know what? You should suffer a little. Hitler should suffer a little, but it wouldn't take too long of the kind of torment that the Bible describes to say, okay, I think he's had enough. I don't think I could see this going on for eternity, and anyone having any ounce of empathy going, nah, keep that shit going. I want to see him fucking writhe another 100 years. I mean, so purgatory makes sense. Make him like Sisyphus, roll the fucking boulder up the hill a million times. And, you feel better now? Okay, now go join your brothers in paradise. I don't know.
I have a funny story about Franciscans. So we've obviously not raised our daughter religious at all. I forget, where were we? We might have been in Southern California, or no, we were in Las Vegas, and we walked by. I think they were Franciscan priests, not monks, but like.
Were they in their robes and everything?
Yeah, all the full robes, the rope, and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And my daughter goes, "Were those Jedi?"
Yeah, kind of.
I was like, "Yeah, they just don't have their lightsabers with them right
now." A little bit like Jedi, they are. Yeah, we have a.
That's really
I don't think it's Trappist. There's a monastery near us, and they come into town, I don't know, 2 or 3 times a year to buy supplies and things. And they always come in their, I don't even know what you call them. They look like the guy out of Robin Hood, like they look like
Friar Tuck
in their friar garb and stuff. And they just get a lot of stares, and everyone's, but apparently you can go visit. And they just keep to themselves. They make candles and grow their own food and do whatever they do.
Yeah.
And,
well, that's the type of Christianity. That's what it should be, right? Like it should just be quietly doing the things that make the world better, and just being like simple and humble.
Go find a cave somewhere, meditate, fucking make candles, produce something, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Don't preach at people on an airplane, right?
Oh my God. I saw that, and have you ever been on a plane when someone did that shit?
No, my wife would grab me and be like, "Please, Matt, do not say anything." I'd be like, "Motherfucker, I'm about to." Like, she would have to hold me back from saying shit. I would say some shit. I'd be like, "Shut the fuck up." Honestly, shut the fuck up. On behalf of all these people, shut the fuck up.
On behalf of all the Christians in here, please shut the fuck up. Like you are doing a disservice to everything.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I was on a flight once where a guy tried to get a sing-along going and nobody went for it. I'm like, nobody wants to hear your shit, dude. We're just all irritated that we're still on this plane too. Could you just stop? Christians are the most entitled motherfuckers in the world. Part of the reason I can't associate. Don't you think? I mean, just that sense that they're entitled to everything, that they, so entitled that any perceived infringement on those rights or any perceived infringement on that privilege is seen as an attack. And I get so tired of the, that victim mentality that so many evangelicals have, that, it's us against the world. I'm like, yeah, I don't think it's that way, man. But what about the MAGA book? Let's talk about that for a minute. MAGA versus the Bible. What contradictions are you speaking of MAGA's sort of overall philosophy and how it conflicts with the Bible, or MAGA as a movement and how it conflicts with all things Jesus? I don't know.
Yeah, a little of both. So like we did Trump versus Jesus as a response. So last year, Simon & Schuster distributed a book that was called Jesus and Trump, the Parallel Sayings. And Keith sent me the link, and I looked, I was like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah.
And it was just so ridiculous, right? And for someone like Simon & Schuster, that's like one of the big 5 publishers. It was like, really? They're distributing this? Like, wow, okay. Because I know they also published, I think, John Fugelsang's book, The Separation of Church and Hate, which just won a National Book Award. So it's like, what are you guys doing? Like, what's happening here? So I think that might have been like a Tuesday. And by Friday, I designed, and Keith and I compiled, I forget how we did it. I did the Trump quotes, and then Keith found the corresponding contradictions from Jesus, and then I compiled it. And by Friday, I had the files uploaded. It was the quickest turnaround we've ever done on a book, like Tuesday to Friday. And so we published that, and then we were like, well, what if we did broaden it out beyond Trump versus Jesus? And because you got Megyn Kelly telling Haitians to go back to where you come from, and you have the Bible, which says to welcome the immigrant as your neighbor, right? Like treat foreign born the same as natural born. And you're like, okay, well, on the one hand, I think the Bible can say whatever you want it to say, and it can say some atrocious things, and we can play that game all day long. I think the overall message, though, is like most of the Bible is written by people being oppressed, so they're from that standpoint, and there's a trajectory as you go throughout the Bible toward a more liberative, message. And so, if you're going to wield the Bible for anything, it's going to be to be welcoming of immigrants and to help the estranged and to feed the poor and to visit the imprisoned. That's kind of like the telos of, I think, the overall message. And so, again, MAGA and cults like that, authoritarian cults like that, are going to do it the opposite. It's like that scene in Saved where she throws the Bible at her and is like, I am filled with the Holy. It's like, that's how they're doing it. And so we wanted to have it out by around, it's America's 250th birthday. I give zero fucks about that. But it gave us a chance. It gave us a chance to publish that book. And then the follow-up, which hopefully I'll get done, don't quote me, by the election, is MAGA versus MAGA. Because as we know, they had when Donald Trump was primarying in 2015, they wanted to get rid of him, right? I argue, and I argued back then, like Donald Trump was a scapegoat for the Republican Party because they literally said things like, if we can just get rid of Donald Trump, we'll save the party. Instead, they got in bed with him, and as the rest is history, apocalyptic history. So you've got the late Lindsey Graham, Marco Rubio, all these Republicans who are like, this person's trash. You can't trust him. He's going to ruin America. And then now I don't know how they say anything never mind.
Yes.
With what they have in their mouths.
With their mouths full.
With their mouths full. Well, if we take Stormy Daniels' word for it. No, I'm kidding.
Not much of a mouthful is what I hear.
But you know what I mean? Like MAGA versus MAGA. So this is the movement, and I think what better way... It's not a book I wrote. I wrote the introduction. They wrote it. MAGA wrote it for us.
Yeah. It's just a compilation of bullshit.
Well,
but this is who they are.
Yeah.
It's just weird, the contradictions within MAGA, right? And that's where you're going to get a lot of this stuff for MAGA versus MAGA is they contradict themselves all the fucking time.
Constantly.
Well, they have either no memory at all, or they forget that people record things. Lindsey Graham was a perfect example of a guy who spoke glowingly about Joe Biden. I'm no Joe Biden fan, but I think he's a decent human being for the most part. Did he do some stupid shit? Yeah. But Lindsey Graham spoke glowingly about Joe Biden. Said God had never created a finer human being than Joe Biden. If you can't like him, then what's wrong with you? And it's a very short time later, and he's just full of vitriol and all kinds of crazy shit, and he spoke very poorly of Donald Trump. And so did, Mitch McConnell and all those guys who primaried against, like you said, you're exactly right. They all
famously J.D. Vance called him Hitler.
Called him Hitler, yeah. I mean, Ted Cruz should still hate the guy. He called his wife.
He called his wife ugly in front of all of us, to America. Yeah. He called some man's wife, and like, these are the alpha males, and you're like, huh. Like, call my wife ugly. I wish you would. I wish you would.
I fucking dare you.
Fucking do it.
Do it. Yeah. Let's put my nonviolent streak to the test. Go ahead. Say something.
I'll become a hypocrite real quick. Actually, I won't become a hypocrite because I'll tell you I'm about to punch you in the face.
That's right. But it's a party full of cucks. They're all a bunch of beta cucks. They're just, they are who they. What's that old saying? Every accusation.
Oh,
What's that?
We are who they thought they were.
We are who we thought they were. That's right. We talk about practice. No, that's a different guy. But it's nuts. And what's even nuttier is when the nuts in the party, like a Marjorie Taylor Brown, like either legitimately or whatever, she feigns coming out from the fog, and she's now, because she's been shat upon by MAGA. I mean, there were times when I found myself in agreement with her and I went, oh, fuck, this is the next sign of the apocalypse. She's still nuts. Don't get me wrong. She's still a full-blown QAnon whack job.
Yeah.
But even those guys can be right sometimes and say, this guy's selling our, you brought up the 250th anniversary. I was so disappointed. I consider myself a patriot, small p patriot. I love my country, Other countries are great too. That I could definitely see myself living in Finland with Promise Enlo. She has not invited me yet, but that's okay. But there are things that we do poorly, and there are things that we're still woefully behind on. But man, what a utter fucking disappointment that whole thing was, man. I was a kid in the 200th and the bicentennial, and the country went batshit crazy, patriotic. It was just all kinds of celebrations and parades, and we weren't as divided, I guess, at that time, but it just sort of came and went, And
patriotism, like Christianity, has been hijacked by some of the worst of us, and that's why it makes it gross. Like, it makes it like when I watched the World Cup, I was like, I can't even root for these players because it's Donald Trump comes and takes a shit on it, and it becomes almost invalid. You get a red card rescinded with with all these things. It's like, it just makes it gross, and it makes those of us who are I am proud to be from here. I am proud Californian. I think United States of America makes so much great art, and we have so much creativity here, and some of our cities are some of the fucking coolest places in the world, and our beauty here is unmatched. Just in our state, in California, you have everything in California: desert, ocean, mountains, valley, agriculture, big cities, art, culture, movies. Of course, I'm proud to be here. But then when you turn it into a parody of itself, it's where patriotism is you got to have truck nuts and a flag, and you got to listen to white country music, and none of this we're speaking American. None of the that. It's become so bad that you can't even satirize it.
No, you can't. There's no line anymore between.
I gave up. I gave up writing satire. I read some of my old satire from years ago that I wrote for Pat, and it's Matt, you are tame. Fucking. Right. Why are you holding back, brother?
Yeah, I tried my hand at it for a little bit, trying to write some of that, and the people that came out that just didn't get it.
Oh man, it's hilarious.
And it was
right over their head.
2 or 3 posts in, and I'm like, I can't do this. People are. I don't think people are stupid, but man,
I had one commenter when I did write some years ago. What was it? It was something about where a conservative pastor's dildo collection speaks out against him or something, and someone commented seriously, non-ironically, do you have a source for this? And I'm like, excuse me? A source? What? My brain, my own crazy brain? What are you talking about? Satire is lost on people, I think.
I think it may be a generation before we see it even come back around again. If we do, parody. I was watching some old episodes of Saturday Night Live, and I'm like, none of this is funny anymore. It's just sad commentary on what's actually happening,
right.
Or when I read articles that, it's really, here's where it really bites you, is the fake tweets. Because 99 times out of 100, they're real tweets, but every once in a while they slip a fake one in that sounds so real that, you have people scratching their heads going, I don't know, did this come from the official, Trump Truth Social account? And if not, it could have very easily. Yeah,
it's an odd place we end up in when literally everything you see on the internet could be complete bullshit or completely true, and you can't discern which is which. You have to vet everything, and even then it's difficult. Where it's I feel even 10 years ago, you could see someone on the internet like, I know that's bullshit.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And now it's like, let me do a little digging. Let me find out what Snopes has to say about this. They gaslight like it's like they're breathing. You know, this whole thing with Fauci having to go up and testify is such an exercise in gaslighting. I lived through it. We all did. I remember who was actually in charge when most of that happened, and have people talking about Joe Biden made us all wear masks. I'm like, who was the motherfucker in charge in 2019?
Yeah, or RFK now saying that the ICUs in New York were empty, and then I see all these videos from ICU doctors in New York being like, "The fuck they were? I worked my ass off." Like,
yeah, they were tossing bodies onto flatbed trucks, man. It was
4 years later. Like, it's like, was it from 1984 where like the last and final command was from the administration is like to basically not believe anything that's in front of you, that. It was their most essential command, I think. 1984 quote. The party told you to reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. It was their final, most essential command.
Wow.
And you know,
Orwell, you prophetic bastard.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yeah. It's all sort of coming true up before our eyes. But I don't know. I'm not sure where to go from there. But the MAGA thing, I think, will be, if I could be a disinterested party, it would be much more interesting. That's a weird, ironic thing. If I was disinterested in the actual outcome of all of it, it would be interesting to watch from the outside to go.
But if you watch it like a reality show.
Yeah, let me watch this country tear itself apart as a bystander. But even those who aren't here know that they'll suffer the effects of all of this. You know, all these failed policies, they don't just affect us. So it's, I don't know, 2 years. November is going to be telling. The Democrats aren't 100% better, but they are better. But they're not. I mean, I don't like Democrats either. I don't like capitalists. I'm tired of all these people who have commodified everything we actually need to live. You know,
it's gotten so absurd. What I just saw that Chevron had like their highest profits in a quarter for five years, and I'm like, of course, I don't even get mad anymore. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Of course they did. I'd be surprised if it were the opposite.
I'm in the oil business, so I'm telling you right now. I work currently in a part of the world that is, in part of the country that is drilling the most oil and gas right now. I mean, it has just gotten busier out here.
Yeah.
And of course they've turned this whole landscape into fucking Martian hellscape. It's, I was driving from my home in San Angelo to Midland, Texas today, where I parked my RV. And, it was just, I lost track. Sometimes I drive by, different, plants and whatnot, and just the waft of gas, that smell of gas in the air, it's like, oh, look at all, and where they're shooting off the flames. There's a word for that, and I should know it because I'm in the business. The flares, where they're flaring off the excess gas. It looks like that one of those scenes out of like Blade Runner, where there's just flames sort of spurting up. And if you ever drive out here at night when it's dark, all you see is a sea of these little flame spurts shooting up. It's nuts. But in the midst of all of this, and we're all paying. I spent a week in California last week, and that took a whole paycheck just to put gas in the little beater renter car that I had. And of course they're making profits hand over fist. They've never not made a profit. That's what they do. So never wanted to spoil a good crisis, right?
Yeah. And it's so disheartening because it's like, I run a business and I work for small businesses and work with small businesses. And it's like the small businesses are always the one who are like the last to like raise prices. And we're like, we always try like, and in many instances, we don't raise prices. And like the big corporations who can take on a little less profit this year, they're the first ones who raise prices. And it's just like, oh my God, you guys are so fucked up.
Well, they set the bar for the rest of us, right?
Exactly.
So I own a coffee shop. I own 2 coffee shops. And, we are, we have to compete with Starbucks and Seven Brew and these other big chains. They don't if they raise their prices, I almost have to, but I have to kind of watch where that line goes because that's kind of sets the mark. Okay, that's what people are willing to pay for a 20-ounce latte. They'll pay this much, maybe a little bit more if you can call it craft or, artisan. They're not going to pay double the price. And so, they can essentially squeeze out a lot of these little independent places by holding fast. And
Well, yeah, and they're the ones who get the tariff money back. I saw the billions of dollars going back to these companies. I was like, where's my $2,000 check I've been waiting for?
Yeah.
I've been waiting by the fucking mailbox this whole time.
I was supposed to get a Doge check. I was supposed to get a tariff refund check. I got fuck all.
I can't believe that the Democrats are not giving those checks to us.
Dirty bastards.
That would be the logic of MAGA right there.
Yeah.
Right. How the Democrats lied to you.
God damn it, Obama.
Boy, they hate him. They hate him a lot. But,
they really do.
But hey, let's talk about some other stuff you've been doing, though. I noticed you've been out there in the public square arguing with fascists and weirdos. Who was your latest debate with? I can't remember the knucklehead's name.
That debate.
It's the most recent one that I remember.
Yeah, no, I've only done a few. Andrew Wilson was the one I'm sure you're referring to. That guy. I must have had a moment of weakness when I agreed to that shit. Keith was supposed to be the one who was going to do it, and Keith didn't know who Andrew Wilson was. And when we were recording Heretic Happy Hour, later in the episode, it's kind of like ADHD brain or something. Like I interrupted him. I was like, "Wait, that Andrew Wilson?" and I was like, "Oh, this guy's fucking nuts, dude." And he's like, "Should I be scared?" And I was like, "I mean, not from his intellect, but from just you got to know what you're getting into." And he's like, "I don't want to do it." And I was like, "Fuck it, I will." And the question was like, should the church include LGBTQ people? One of those debates. And like we were talking about off the air before we started, like all these guys, all the debates are the same. They all have the same answers. They all talk about the same shit. It's just kind of like they refuse to masturbate. So this is their in lieu of masturbation. It's like their debate me bro culture. And I partaked in it. For 3.5 hours long. Three and a half fucking hours.
Did you do this on Modern Day Debates?
Yes.
Or was it? Okay. Well,
it was that one.
So a quote unquote formal debate style, right? Where you get opening statements and then you it's such a shit show over there. I stopped watching Modern Day Debates a while back.
Oh my God.
They're heavily, they just want someone to crash out. I
think they're trying to replicate what happened to Andrew Wilson when there's like a famous clip where he's debating on a 6-hour debate on Whatever, the Whatever podcast, where she mentions that his wife has 3 baby daddies, and he just has this epic meltdown, right? Because he's living the life that he would condemn and does condemn. Like, you're married to someone who's been married 3 times. She has multiple kids with other people. You see yourself as a cuck when you talk about women like this. And he just has this epic meltdown. And I think that's what he's like most famous for. So that's all these debate channels are really looking for. It's like, it's just farming for these kind of clips that are going to go viral. It's not about, it's not about like engaging in the Socratic method by the rules of the Socratic method, which are for kind of like the best, we can have the best debate, we can have the best argument, and we do it collaboratively. No, it's about like this guy owns that guy, and liberal has epic meltdown, and that's what they're all going for.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Well, they all come in super, super aggressive with their little talking points, and
right.
It almost inevitably devolves into name calling, and like you said, this, when you talk about formal debates, there's all these fallacies that you're trying to avoid, all these pitfalls. You're trying to not, do ad hominem attacks or, et cetera, et cetera. And I was watching this guy. He would say something really, really, really intelligently, and then just cap it off with "you dummy." Like that's an ad hominem attack. And no, it's not. That's an insult. That's not the same thing.
Yeah,
look up your formal fallacies. Right. I argued. I responded to your argument, and then I insulted you because you're an idiot, because you're dumb, and you won't know how to respond. So, but yeah, I've watched so many of these atheist debates are great. There was one, the flat Earth debates are hilarious.
Oh, I'm sure those are funny. The flat Earth is still by far my favorite conspiracy. Like, I love flat Earth so much.
Yeah. I love it all.
I wish more people believed in a flat Earth, honestly.
I'd love to see an actual like physicist or somebody come out as
a flat earther.
Yeah, you got to, because these guys are all idiots. They're dumb, they're paranoid
but it's so funny.
But it's so funny.
Though.
And they I've actually seen debates with PhD physicists where they're like, why are you platforming this guy with this guy as though they are in any sense equal? You know, this guy's point of view is like 8 inches per meter squared. Blah, blah, you don't see. I'm standing on top of my whatever, and I look out, and it's just flat, man. The world is flat. So
flat, man.
And the moon is a projection, and it's a hologram, and it's yada yada. But what's funny is so many of these guys are also professed Christians, and of course, if they buy off on flat Earth, they buy off on everything else as well.
That's the problem. Then.
I mean, that's the litmus test. If you're a flat earther, and also, by the way, you believe 5G is giving you cancer, and you believe that there's chemtrails, and you believe.
Well, I like the birds aren't real. That one's fun.
The birds
too.
aren't real. The windmills are giving us cancer, and they're killing all the birds. It's wild, man. I applaud you for doing it because I know it must have been a very frustrating thing to participate in. Yeah,
it was. Like I could have gone into it just slinging insults, but I tried not to do that. But I did. I knew he was going to interrupt me. He interrupted me, I think, like 200 times, something like that. And talked most of the time. So I think that's pretty impressive to interrupt someone who didn't talk as much 200 times.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like when I do not, generally when I look at like, do I want to take on this? Do I want to not? Is it going to move the needle? Is it beneficial? And I don't think these debates are. Right? And I don't think so. I don't think it really does. I think it's like the people who like Andrew Wilson were going to be like, oh, that guy got owned. And the people who follow me were like, yeah, Andrew Wilson's a dick. I would never be a Christian if that's my introduction to Christianity. Like,
yeah, for sure.
And to me, that's where the rubber meets the road. It's like, you're a self-proclaimed Orthodox Christian. And if you were my introduction to Jesus Christ of Nazareth, I'd be like, this is the most absurd faith. This is a cult. Like, because like this guy offers nothing interesting. There's no good ideas. Like, it's not about helping others. It's not about being better. It's not about making the world a nicer, better, kinder place. It's literally about like, own your opponent, bro. It's like that. That's a religion. That's a religion. Like, fuck off.
It's culty as all hell, man.
It really is.
And at the end of the day, you're right. I don't think it moves the needle much. I will say, I think one of the first debate type things I watched Brian Zahn debate Dr. Michael Brown.
Is that the angry God one?
Yeah,
that was good.
About the monster God, and they were very respectful of one another, and
but that was before the debate me bro culture, I think.
Right. That was moderated pretty well, and it was. What's really weird is, do you know who moderated that who hosted that debate?
I don't remember.
It was Mike Bickle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was at
IHOP. Mike Bickle.
Yeah, it was at IHOP.
Didn't he get popped for something?
Oh yeah. I don't know if it was anything specific. I know IHOP KC got popped for just an overall culture of abuse. They really abuse because they run probably 90% of their stuff on volunteer intern stuff. Yeah. And it's a very
Bickle faced allegations of sexual abuse from women over several decades.
Yeah. Unsurprising that he finds himself in the same company as other people like Mark Driscoll. But he and Brian Zahn, once upon a time, were friendly, And I applauded him for hosting that debate. But I will tell you this: if you were whatever the guy Michael Brown hosts a show called like Ask Dr. Brown. I don't know what it is. He Bible answer stuff. I guarantee you walked out of that going, Michael Brown owned Brian Zahn. And if you were on the side of Brian Zahn's arguments, you probably walked away saying, oh man, he cleaned his clock. So I don't know that these provide much in the way of persuasion one way or the other. Or if they just...
I remember liking the debates, like the Christopher Hitchens debates back in the day. I used to watch those.
I liked Christopher Hitchens. He died soon enough that he didn't become Richard Dawkins, and just who I used to like Richard Dawkins a lot. He's such a turd now. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with those guys. The neo atheists, or whatever you call those guys.
I find them boring.
But Hitchens had a way of being very snarky, and
he was funny,
and he was so smart. You know,
very smart,
very smart, and he was right about a lot of stuff. That actually did push me off of center. This pushed me more towards that agnostic camp, at least. Going, well, I certainly can't buy off on your version of any of this. I can't associate with that sector, but anyway, it's interesting. Like I said, I'd like to see it because to me, as someone who watches, it's interesting. But I also know that a guy like Andrew Wilson's not going to give you. He's not going to give an inch. He's not going to concede anything ever.
And he's and nothing I don't feel like is in good faith with him.
Exactly.
Like we've been having this pastor Evan McClanahan on Heretic Happy Hour, and I feel like he's in good faith. Although it's again back to the very 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 inconsistent views. Like he came onto our show and was saying, let's just say I hate Donald Trump, right? Like, and then something was posted the other day where he is a Trump supporter and a vocal Trump supporter. And so they'll talk out of both sides of their mouth when it suits them. And it's just so disappointing when you're like, if I'm talking to, let's say, someone who's theologically conservative and they're just like, no, I'm not MAGA. I'm not gonna sell my soul to someone who's as close to the devil himself, right? Like, then I can at least have the conversations with him. But if I find out, you're just secretly MAGA, you're telling us you're not, so you can, I guess, have a conversation with us, then I'm like, how good faith is that? Like, so I really think, like, unfortunately, MAGA is a cult, probably the largest cult we've ever seen, at least.
I agree.
And to get out of, I don't have the tools to help people out of a cult. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if anyone does. I think they have to be confronted by like some sort of existential crisis on their own, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, it's like that person we had on recently who wrote the book Conspiracist, and she like worked with two conspiracy theorist people, and at the end of the day, she had to say, well, neither one of them changed their mind. At the end of the day, they're still knee deep in all these conspiracy theories, all of them.
Yeah. She was the one who wrote about the January 6ers, right?
Right. The two January 6ers. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
they were the ones climbing through the broken windows and,
oh, wow.
And then got really mad when they got thrown in jail. One of them got pardoned. One of them actually passed away, didn't she?
I don't know.
I thought one of them committed suicide.
No, a family member committed suicide, not them.
But it's, I mean, if you go down sort of the traditional definition of what a cult or high controlling religion is, MAGA checks all the boxes.
All of them. Emphatically. Yeah.
I mean, and a couple of them twice. Just like if you go through the definition of actual fascism, you go, man, Donald Trump checks off almost all these boxes as well. We're not just throwing these empty words around that this is a fascist regime. They're doing fascist stuff. That they're still held in check to some degree is, I guess, reassuring, but there's no guarantee.
And they're fucking dumb, which is good. Like,
thank God, right?
I was listening to some. He was some kind of creator online. I don't know. It was a black dude who was talking about like the racism that my forefathers faced were like they were intellectual racists. They read and they studied philosophy and
did they?
That's what he was. I
know who you're talking about though. I know this guy.
These fucking these racists and fascists are just, I guess they're just dumb as shit, right? Like dumb. I know racists have always been dumb as shit, but like,
well, no, not always. I think you're
not
right.
always, but yeah, I think they had they obviously were dumb as shit in many regards, but they were also intellectuals and they were academics who were racist. And now it's just like the fascists that we're dealing with, like Pete Hegseth is a dumb person.
Yeah,
Kash Patel is a dumb person.
Yeah, these are
dumb people
given high-powered jobs,
right?
In which they have no expertise or anything. Yeah. Hegseth is Donald Trump's a dumb guy.
He's a dummy.
He's just a dummy. He's I'm mystified But you're right. I mean, you go back and look at our founding fathers, many of whom were racist as all hell,
right?
Who were very well read,
right.
Students of the Enlightenment, and in many ways, way ahead of their time. I mean, they were, reading John Locke, and there were reasons for.
Yeah, and Donald Trump can't read a teleprompter, so that's the difference.
I mean, Thomas Jefferson was in many ways a very bad dude. But that they set ideals up that we have yet to live up to. At least they had the sense to write down the ideals. Have we? I mean, we failed to meet those standards very often. But yeah, you're right. It's a whole different class. When Donald Trump said that he loved the uneducated, he meant that shit, and he's not wrong. He's got, there's a lot of uneducated support out there. So I don't know, man. Any other cool debates planned with any other wackadoos?
Well. No, not any of those kind. I'm sure we're going to have Evan back on our show, and we've been invited to go on his show. And those aren't debates; they're just discussions. He came on recently, and was arguing in favor of blasphemy laws and going back to those, which I thought was just like Evan's one of those dudes who's like, I think he's probably way better than what he believes. But like, man, the shit that he believes is just fucking. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to have these discussions with these folks because do they really believe in this stuff? Because their thoughts aren't their ideas aren't really like teased out, because on the one hand they'll be like, oh, we need to have blasphemy laws, but on the other hand, I don't want cops going in and knocking on doors to make sure you're not, doing X, Y, and Z. Are you guys doing any sodomy in there? But it's like, yo, that's exactly what the fuck's going to happen, though. This is some Handmaid's Tale type thinking, y'all. Yeah,
this is white Christian evangelical jihadists out there wanting to enact their own version of Sharia.
What's the difference between what they think Sharia is and their idea is blasphemy laws?
The only difference is the name they call their God. That's it. I mean, they want Sharia law. Texas is getting, man, I tell you what. Texas is getting close. I mean, we keep doing all kinds of weird shit. There are reasonable people in Texas who are pushing back, but the state of Texas just basically forced through a law that would require Bible reading in school in some form or fashion.
And it's always how they read the Bible, though. It's not going to be like, and we're going to have Richard Rohr come do it.
Yeah. Well, or they opening the doors then for the local cleric to come in and read from the Quran? Are they going to let local Mormons come in and read from the Book of Mormon? That would be entertaining. Although, if you've ever tried to read that book, it is boring as hell. Holy shit. Joseph Smith was a bad writer. Well, I think he time traveled to where there was AI and just said, write me something that sounds delicious.
Mormonism isn't a religion. It's a way of life.
That's right. It's all about a relationship. Christianity isn't a religion, though. It's a relationship. Don't forget that. Because we have personal relationships with Jesus.
Well, then why do we need blasphemy laws? Just have your personal relationship.
Well, don't start trying to make sense.
I know.
That's not going to work. So.
That's the slippery slope to atheism.
It is, man. I'm on it. Grease up the slip and slide. Let's roll, baby. It's at the bottom of the slip and slide, there are margaritas and tacos. So
I can't be philosophical. I can't be philosophically a materialist, though. I just can't. I
think I can. But I don't know. I'm still working it out, to be honest with you.
I think we all are.
I mean, I go back to the book I wrote 2 years ago or 3 years ago, however long it was. I disagree with most of it now. I'm like, God damn it. And I said in the book I would. I'm like, I will disagree with myself, in the not too distant future. And yeah, there's things there's things I have rethought. There's things I am rethinking. But I can't get too strident on either side of that. There's too many unknowns. And to claim that we know is silly. What I do think is unequivocal is that if we're trying to adhere to any version of Christianity that has any kind of soundness to it, then we do have to work on the whole loving the neighbor thing. I just don't think there's any way around that one. Sorry, guys, all you Christians who'd like to use your Bible to, slay people. It's probably not.
Well, who are your neighbors, Nat?
Oh, well, there's this guy that's right over here in this RV, and he's kind of a dick. No, that was always my question whenever that was said, right? It was, my reading of scriptures Jesus tried to break down those walls and say, well, who is your neighbor? Well, let me tell you a story about a guy and another guy who he hated, who turned out to be a better neighbor than you are being right now. So neighbors, that's one of those words that's ill-defined. So yeah, I will fall on the side of Jesus and say, even my enemy is my neighbor, and I have to care about it. That's why it's such a hard struggle right now, because I find myself really, really angry and hateful towards this movement, realizing that there are people that I love in it and having to figure out how to navigate through that and go, okay, I don't know that they're going to change their mind, but I can't just hate them because, but these aren't just differing opinions. These aren't just like, you like chocolate, I like vanilla. Right. This isn't just like, well, we can't all just get along when you're talking about, things that harm other people that I love. So,
well, it's the whole agree to disagree thing, right? Yeah,
to a point.
And I agree to disagree that pineapple belongs on pizza, but I don't agree to disagree where people are put in harm's way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we can discuss whether or not, Beyonce should have put out a country album. I don't know. I don't like Beyonce or country music. So either way, I don't care. But, other than that, I'm not going to get too dogmatic about it. So, but Matt, I tell you what, man, as always, engrossing, engaging, awesome stuff, man. I'm looking forward to whatever you've got planned in the future. All the stuff you're doing with John Fugelsang, I think is awesome. Heretic Happy Hour, obviously, all the books you're probably cooking up as we speak. You should do a book about Fallout. That was a good game.
I never played Fallout. That was Bethesda. I was a big Oblivion and Skyrim fan.
Okay. Ooh, Skyrim. There you go. Well, the show they put out was pretty good. Walton Goggins is a fucking national treasure. But yeah, pretty good stuff. Anyway, John, any parting shots, man?
No, again, just thank you for coming on the show and having this conversation with us. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate y'all.
Absolutely.
Thank you for listening to This Is Not Church. Be sure to rate and review the podcast on your platform of choice. If you would like to partner with us, visit patreon.com/thisisnotchurch, where you will receive exclusive content such as early access to episodes, videos of upcoming episodes, and live Q&A sessions. Be sure to check out our Facebook group or follow us on Twitter and Instagram. All the links are in the show notes. We'll be back soon with another episode.